Worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. All right, man, another fabulous day. Not outside at the moment, but I've been outside, and trust me, it's beautiful there too. A beautiful winter day. Man, I love you all. Thank you all, truly, for helping to build the worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Please like, share, subscribe. Uh, please make sure you click all your notifications. Please, when you come to my YouTube channel, visit the community section. Very unique and powerful information there. Please listen to all my music on all the popular streaming platforms. Please support me by going and buying both of my books, both currently affordably priced and available on Amazon.com. Just look under author Big King Sadiq. Um, Man, and please help me to continue to grow my up and growing uh, new channel on rumble.com. Please make sure that you visit me there and go and subscribe there as well. All right, folks. We never dwell on anything dark, but we certainly don't shy away from dealing with any of it, right? Remember, I told you as we press forward, we'll do so confronting all that has been revealed as it continues to be revealed and will continue to be revealed. So I've seen a couple of videos on YouTube and I believe another platform put out by some content creators talking about the uh, the welfare system and how um, it's been a device, right, uh, to keep men away from their children, most notably in the Black community, but that it's not limited there, right? Um, uh, it has extended in other communities, Hispanic communities, even some white folks, whatever the case may be. The bottom line is that the systematic approach was here. Single women will step in and give you this and that and that and this and take care of your needs, housing, make sure that we get funding into your hand and money for you to be able to do what you need to do. Only catch, have no man in the scenario, right? It's actually even there are actually rules even posted that have been part of the policies that have been associated with that, all in the aim of breaking up the family, right? Um, whether we're talking about a nuclear family unit, or even if we're talking about situations where the mother and father are parenting or co-parenting, even if they're not in a relationship together. Um, and that is very true. That is a very direct, systematic attack on children being able to grow up with both parents, right? And anyone who goes back and studies it see that it was A, systematic, and B, very deliberate with that intention in mind. And then it has taken on other forms, right? Uh, which is coming out, and I wanted to highlight a little bit where um, they the the nefarious they, right? um, Look to use other very shrewd and tricky means in which to manipulate women into participating with this, um, unbeknownst in most cases to the overall objective, which is to attack the way that our children are growing up and to keep them from growing up and two parent family scenarios. Again, whether it's a nuclear family where everyone's together, or a situation where you have a woman and a man co-parenting, even though they may not be in a relationship together. It's a very, very dark and nefarious scheme that takes on new faces and different nuances on how it unfolds. Um, I talked recently about some of the dark and nefarious groupings, right? That we see, and again, folks, spiritual maturity is what is required, right? In order for us to deal with situations that are coming out, that are being brought to light, that we need to deal with and correct and move past, right? So that we can move forward in forging our new paradigm of peace, love, respect. We need to have our children growing up with both parents whenever it is even remotely possible. We need to see that happen and see it happen in a healthy way, right? But again, the negative manipulation, we see women being manipulated into feeling sort of a false sense of power, right? Um, Using the children. Sometimes, again, it happens in such a subtle way that I think often the women don't realize what they're doing, right? At least not right away. And in some cases, it may take a long time. There can be, again, a lot of nuances involved, a lot of deep feelings and deep emotional situations that have to be resolved in order for both the male and female to move on as good parents to the child, right? Um, but yeah, many women are manipulated into, and it happens in a myriad of ways. Unfortunately, it could be they have someone in their corner, or some quote unquote in their corner, right? Or someone in their circle who is manipulating them toward that, toward using the child as a means of retribution or revenge against the father, right? Where they are uh, uh, keeping, because again, folks, it's been built up over years, particularly about black men, right, or quote unquote black men, that they don't want to be fathers, that they want to dodge that responsibility. I remember in the 90s, one of the biggest running jokes that the comedians would take, baby mother dodging, da 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 da, all on these descriptions of black men, right? Um, Go back and look, comb through Def Comedy Jam and all the different little comedy things. Not to single out comedians, but that was certainly one of the ways um, that the stereotype, right, had been perpetuated about black men not wanting to be fathers, right? And what I've seen is quite the opposite, right? Um, not just recently, but for years now. Even since then, even at that time, I, in my own way, spoke out against that because I knew it was a negative stereotype that was being systematically reinforced, right? But what's happening is that, and has been happening, is that these women are being manipulated into using the child as a power piece, right? Right, almost like a chess piece, and trying to find different ways to get revenge against the father, or um, to give themselves a sense of power in the situation, right? When there are fathers who definitely want to spend time with their children, but are being kept away from their children in one nefarious means or another. And again, I, this is not a blame thing, right? Certainly not looking to blame these mothers, because who does that help, right? Um, Many of the mothers, again, don't realize what they're doing at the time that they're doing it. Um, or the impact not only that it has on the father, but that it ends up having on the child, right? And that's what's most important in this scenario is um, um, the upbringing of the child being as healthy and as positive and inclusive as possible, right? We remember that old phrase, it takes a village to raise one child. Um, Certainly inclusive in that village are the fathers, right? As it should be. Um, and again, this is not to point a finger at women or to try and cast them in a negative light. Again, they are often manipulated into these situations, right? By someone in their corner, by these covens out here that have sprung up. I talked about that, folks, and many of us are aware about these new witch covens that have popped up, right? And it's just, I'm not breaking any news. There have been open advertisements right here in my city, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I'm sure if I were to do the same investigative research in other cities or touch base with other folks in other cities who have seen the same thing, they would corroborate that, right? Um, and often there are a lot of dark and nefarious intentions that go along with those groupings, right? And one of the ways that they can be carried out is by doing that, by finding different ways to manipulate the woman in the scenario or the mother into being complicit with or spearheading even the separation of the child from the father. When not only that certainly hurts the father, but it most certainly also hurts the child as well. And neither one is healthy. When you hurt the father, then often they're driven down. And this is where those covens come in place, right? Remember, folks, I told you we're going to talk about it. The dark intentions, the dark nefarious intentions to trick the father into uh, being in a state of lower vibrational frequency so that he can have a bunch of negative, low vibrational frequency feelings, intentions, and thought patterns, right? Become interwoven into his psyche, right? Remember, folks, all these low vibrational frequency energies and entities have no power over you. It is only when you lower your vibrational frequency to match the frequency they're on that they can carry out these manipulations, right? So that's often one of the tactics, when we see that the father's being kept from the child and so forth by these nefarious schemes. It is a trick and a ploy to get him to a lower vibrational frequency, allowing dark, nefarious energies and entities to attempt to take hold and manipulate and send negative thought forms to resonate in the father's psyche. In either case, and the same thing can happen with the mother, right? And then there's so many nuances where, paranoia comes into play, where all these different emotional states and thought forms that are not healthy, right, for the parent. And certainly, if you have two parents that are immersed in submerged into low vibrational frequency mental states where they are embracing these low vibrational frequency thought forms and schemes and whatnot, that's not healthy for the child either, right? Certainly not. Um, we need two healthy, uh, 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 emotionally stable, right? Loving parents for each child whenever it is even remotely possible. That's what we all should be working to foster so that we're all doing our part as part of the village to help raise the child, right? So let's keep that in mind and move forward in 2024 with positive energy for both the father and the mother, right? The mother and the father, and have two wonderful parents for each wonderful child. right? That's the healthy course. That's the spiritually mature course. And we should certainly take that and not get into choosing sides or causing any further divisiveness. Remember, it's all separation mentality, right? We have to remember, folks, that in this energy, the dark, nefarious, low vibrational frequency energies and entities are being rapidly dismissed from the planet. And as they are clutching on to the old vibrational frequency paradigm that we did live in, that they thrived in previously, we'll see all sorts of desperate and nefarious schemes and tactics. And this is one of them, right? So we identify it, we deal with it with spiritual maturity, and we move forward with spiritual maturity and love. I'm talking about true unconditional love, which certainly each child could and should be able to benefit from both parents, right? That's the healthy course. That's the spiritually mature course. That is the course forward in our new high vibrational frequency paradigm of peace, love, respect. All right. I love you all. Let's just keep pushing forward, folks. They keep throwing up the obstacles in our way, and we just keep kicking them and knocking them down. And as we do that, we continue to forge our new paradigm forward in peace, love, respect. I love you all. Thank you all. Big King Sadiq, worldwide movement, peace, love, respect.